Hi and welcome. My name is Kate and I'm so happy to see you on this course. English for IT would be perfect for you if you would like to start your career in this field, but you feel that your English needs improvement. Or if you already work in IT but would like to upgrade your speaking and writing skills in English. The course consists of 15 topics. We're going to talk about roles in IT, companies, SDLC, websites, feedback, and many other. After taking the course, you will learn more than 100 IT-related words and phrases. You will improve your grammar. You will practice giving constructive feedback, write a professional CV, and you will learn how to do well on a job interview. Are you ready for this challenge? I know you are. How to work with this course. Each lesson contains a short video lecture. Sometimes during the video, I will ask you to pause the video and repeat after me. Feel free to pause videos as many times as needed. After watching the video for several times, you should find a worksheet and do all the tasks and exercises in it. If you have a printer at home, it is good to print out the sheets in advance. The course consists of 15 lectures. I would recommend you to do 3-4 lectures per week. So overall, the course can take you around 4 to 5 weeks to accomplish. At the last lesson, you will find a worksheet with all the answers to the previous lessons, so you will be able to check if you were correct. Good luck! Hi guys, I'm so happy to see you today. In this lesson, we're going to talk about roles in IT and practice present simple tense. Let's go! This is my friend Dave. He wants to start his career in IT. Let's help him find out about roles in IT. But before that, let's find out more about Dave. Hi, my name is Dave. I'm from Poland. I want to start my career in IT. I plan to learn Python and JavaScript. I want to work in a small company with nice people. I play the guitar, have a dog, and I really like to travel. So nice to meet you, Dave. Okay, now it's your turn. Tell us about yourself. Use the phrases from the screen and put your information. Pause this video and practice. Perfect. So nice to meet you. Okay, let's have a look at the most popular IT roles. Role 1. A developer. This person creates software applications. How? By writing a code. Synonyms: software developer, programmer, software engineer. He is a software developer. Note that we use article a software developer. Good. Second role, a QA. A QA is responsible for the quality of software. This person tests software and makes sure everything works correctly. Also, QA finds bugs. Synonym: quality assurance engineer or tester. She is a QA. Nice. A PM or a project manager. A project manager is responsible for management of the project. This person also coordinates teamwork and communicates with the client. He is a PM. An HR, human resources. An HR performs people-related tasks. An HR is responsible for hiring and firing, onboarding, offboarding, benefits, vacations, and many other people-related things. She is an HR. Nice. A recruiter. This person is responsible for hiring new employees. Recruiter contacts potential candidates, reviews CVs, organizes interviews. He is a recruiter. A web designer. If you want a good-looking website, you need to call a designer. She is a designer. A sales manager. This person looks for new clients for IT products or services. She is a sales manager. Nice. Let's check. Is she an HR? Yes, she is. Is he a QA? No, he is not. He is a PM. Is he a recruiter? Yes, he is. Is she a PM? No, she is not. She is a QA. Does he work as a QA? No, he does not. Does she work as a sales manager? Yes, she does. Does she work as a developer? No, she doesn't. All right, this is Julia. She writes project plans and communicates with the client and team. Her role is a PM. So for this sentence, we used present simple to talk about her, who she is, and what she does. So, present simple, short formula. I am, he is, we are. I am a developer, he is a developer, we are developers. I do, he does, we do. I work, he works, we work. Nice. Okay, let's have a look at sentences in present simple as well as questions. I study Python. Positive sentence. I don't study Python. Negative sentence. Do I study Python? Question. He writes code. He doesn't write code. Does he write code? All right. Pause the video and repeat the sentences for a couple times. All right, now it's time for practice. Go to your file, do the tasks, and if you need to refresh your memory, come back to this video. Thank you and bye! Hi! Let's have a look at some useful phrases that can help you describe your job title. You can say, I am a software developer. I am a software engineer. I am a QA engineer. I am a sales manager. I am an HR. Or, I work as a software developer. I work as a QA. I work as a project manager. Or, my job title is a software engineer. My job title is a QA. My job title is a project manager. My job title is a recruiter. Thank you. Please repeat the phrases and see you next time. Bye. Let's play a short game. You're gonna listen to people describing their roles and responsibilities. Your job is to guess the role. Let's go. I love my job because I have a chance to communicate with a lot of new people. Also, I have to be aware of different technologies and market trends. Sometimes, at the end of the day, I feel tired after all the interviews. But when I hire the perfect candidate, I feel inspired. I am a... Right, I am a recruiter. I enjoy being in charge, and I'm good at planning and communication. I monitor progress, evaluate risks, and communicate with the team and the client. I am a project manager. I'm very attentive to details and I like to break things. I will find the reason if something is not working as it should. The only thing I don't like is writing documentation. I am a QA. I always liked to create something, and now I enjoy that the results of my work can help people in their everyday life. This application I developed makes it easy to book a doctor's appointment. I developed the app from scratch and used Python for the backend and React for the front end. That's right, I am a developer. Now read the description and guess who said that. Now, second part of the game. Read the description of the role and complete it with missing words. Hi, so good to see you again. In this lesson, we're gonna talk about companies, types of companies, and how to make questions in English. All right. First, let's have a look at types of worker. So you can work as a freelancer. That means that you work per task or project and you get paid for an hour of work or accomplished task. Or you can be an employee. That means that you are a part of a company, you do different tasks and have different responsibilities, and you get fixed salary plus some benefits. All right. So companies in IT are divided into two main types. First type, product company. This company develops one or several connected products, and if you work there, you work on one project or similar projects during your career in this company. Service company has different clients and develops many different projects for them. And if you work there, you can switch projects and clients more often. Okay, examples of these companies. Product company, for example, Airbnb. Their product is a platform where you can find and rent an apartment. And service company, for example, Global Logic. They have many different clients and they develop many different projects for them. Let's have a look at how companies describe themselves and try to guess the type of a company. First company. We deliver business and technology transformation from start to finish using agile methodologies, proven customer collaboration approach, engineering excellence tools, hybrid teams, and our award-winning global delivery platform. All right, we see words like deliver, business, from start to finish, and customer. That means this is a service company. Second, at ABC Company, we want to help people understand one another better when they communicate. Every day, 30 million people around the world use our product to strengthen their writing and say what they really mean. Here, we see phrases like 30 million people use our product. So here is the focus on the product and number of users. So this is a product company. Next one. We are digital advisors and providers who operate at the cutting edge of technology. We deliver the innovation, quality, and speed that our clients expect. Again, we see words like clients, deliver, digital advisors. So here we talk about a service company. Okay, in a service company, the focus is on the client, delivery, advice. In a product company, the focus is on product, users. Good. Okay, size of the company. We can have a micro company, small company, middle company, and big company. Let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in a small or big company. So, in a small company, you can have a wide range experience, so you can try different roles and responsibilities. Involvement in company mission, so you can suggest some improvements, some innovations. You can make work friends at a small company. But there are some disadvantages, minuses. Unknown reputation and culture, limited growth, and due to a lower budget sometimes, not so many benefits. Advantages of a big company. It's a good start in career, more room for growth, and better process. But sometimes you might have limited responsibilities and longer process, paperwork, and bureaucracy. All right. Meet my friend Sarah. She has a new job. I want to find out more about her new company, so I sent her a message with some questions. All right, I want to know the name of her new company, a number of people working there. I want to know how old is her company, the location of main office, and I want to know the name of the person who runs this company. So I make questions. What is the name of your new company? How many people work there? When was this company founded? Where is the main office of your company? Who is the CEO of your company? All right, pause the video and repeat the questions. Good job, guys. Now it's your turn. Pause the video again and try to recreate the questions by putting missing words there. Perfect. All right, you will find the answers for these questions in the worksheet. Okay, time for practice. It's time to do the tasks. Thank you and bye. All right, guys, let's practice making questions. We have 3 lines of words, and our job is to make 3 questions. So let's start. We have the first one, and we have words. Is who of the CTO Google? So we can see the question mark here. So Google should go at the end of the question. And we need to find a question word. Who? Who is our question word? So we put it here and Google at the end. Now we need to figure out the middle. Who is of the CTO? So probably we want to find out about the person who is the CTO of Google. So we put up here CTO. Who is the CTO of Google? Do you know the answer? Great. Second question. Product develop. What does this team? So question mark goes here. Question word. What goes here. And we need to specify the question. So here we want to find out about the product. So we put it here. What product auxiliary does this team develop? Our second question is ready. Third one. In the morning, when does your office open? So in the morning goes here. Question word. When. And auxiliary does your office open in the morning? When does your office open in the morning? My office opens at 8 a.m. Good. So we made 3 questions. All right. Let's try making more questions. So we have this line, people, there, how, work, many. So there goes at the end, and we have a question word. How, and there. So probably in this question we want to find out the quantity, the number of people. So we add many. How many people work there? How many people work there? How many people work in your company? How many people work in your team? Good. Next question. Do team, your new, like you? Okay. Team goes here. And let's check. Do we have a question word like who, when, how much, how many? No, we do not have a question word here. So let's start our question with do. Do you like what? Your new team. Do you like your new team? Yes, I do. Okay, and the third question. Your is interesting project new. So, as we know, this goes here, interesting. And let's see if we have a question word. I don't see any question words. So, in that case, we should start our question with is. Is your new project interesting? Great. So guys, remember, if we have a question word, it goes first. If we don't have a question word, we can start with an auxiliary verb like do, does, is. Does your team like you? Is your new boss a nice guy? Are your new colleagues nice people? And so on. Thank you and see you on the next lesson. Bye. Hi. So today let's talk about types of locations for work in IT and learn how to compare things. Let's go. Okay, if you work in IT, you will have these working options. You can have an office work. You can have a remote work, also known as working from home. You can have a hybrid work mode, and you can relocate. Hybrid work mode means that some days you work from office and some days you work from home. Relocation means moving to a city or country where your company has an office. All right. So, office work has many advantages, pluses. For example, you can communicate faster when you're sitting in the same office with your colleagues. You can have fun at office parties. You can have more focused work in a working environment, and you can have better meetings when all team members are participating. But office work has some disadvantages, minuses as well. For example, annoying team members. Sometimes it's difficult to work in the same room with someone you don't really like. Or commute. It's a time needed to go to and from the office. Working from office might be more expensive. You need to spend money for lunch, coffee, and commute, and you might have less private space. Okay, working from home, it saves you time. You don't need to go to the office, so no commute here. It might be cheaper due to transportation money, coffee money, lunch money, and it's more flexible, so you can do some other things at home. But there are some minuses as well. Worse work-life balance. Sometimes you don't know when the work finishes. You feel like you are working all day long. And you might have more distractions like kids, pets, noisy neighbors. All right. So repeat after me the phrases. Commute, office parties, faster communication, better meetings, focused work, less private space. Good job. More expensive, more flexible, cheaper, saves time, home distractions, work-life balance. Great job, guys. Okay, you will need some things for work in IT. So here are the most essential things. A PC, a personal computer, headphones, a desk, a chair, a laptop, a mouse. Repeat after me. A PC, headphones, a desk, a chair, a laptop, a mouse. Good job, guys. Okay, now let's have a look at some offices and compare them. Office A is small. Office B is smaller than A. Office C is the smallest. Smaller, comparative. The smallest, superlative. All right. Office A is dirty. Office B is dirtier than A. Office C is the dirtiest. Dirtier, comparative. The dirtiest, superlative. Okay, see how Y here changed to IER. Okay. Office A is clean. Office B is cleaner than A. Office C is the cleanest. All right. Office A is crowded. That means that too many people work there. B is more crowded than A. C is the most crowded. Okay, crowded is a long word. That's why we added more to make a comparative and the most to make a superlative. All right? Good, it's time for practice. go to your file and do the tasks. If you need to refresh your memory, come back to this video. Thank you and bye! Let's practice talking about your company. You can say, I work at a big company. I work at a small company. I work at a middle-sized company. If you want to say the name of the company, you can say, I work at Facebook. I work at Google. Or I work for Facebook. I work for Google. You can also say, I am a part of a big international team. I am a member of a small remote team. Good. If you want to describe where you work, your location, you can say, I work in the office. I work from home. I work remotely. I have a home office. I have a hybrid work mode. Perfect. Repeat and use the phrases to talk about yourself. See you next time. Bye. Hi guys. Today let's talk about communication in IT, types of communication, and practice present continuous tense. Let's go. Okay. People in IT communicate mostly online and they use a lot of tools. So people write emails using Outlook or Gmail. They post team notifications, project updates using Slack or Microsoft Teams. They might have video calls using Skype or Zoom. They might receive a message from recruiter or company or colleague in LinkedIn, and they can post comments on code using Git. All right, let's have a look at some situations of company communications. They are chatting near the water cooler, probably discussing something funny. She is writing an email to her colleague. They are having a team meeting. They are having a Zoom call. They are listening to the manager. Okay, for these sentences are used present continuous tense. They are listening to the manager. For this tense, we take the verb to be in the right form. I am, you are, they are, he is, and we add ending ing to the main verb. Listening. Okay, we often use present continuous with words like now, at the moment, currently. Okay. Are they having a video call now? No, they are not. They are chatting near the cooler. Is she writing an email? Yes, she is. Are they chatting near the cooler? No, they are not. Are they having a Zoom call? No, they are not. Are they having a team meeting? Yes, they are. All right, let's have a look at these text messages and decide which message is notification in a team channel, request related to work, not business related message, and job proposal. Pause the video and look at these messages for a few seconds. All right. Yes, one is a business-related message. It's an email to a team member. Here we have informal greeting. Here we have a polite request. Could you please provide me the link to homepage design? So provide means send, share, or give. Could you please send me the link? And here we have a closing part. Best
regards. All right, these two messages are informal messages. First one is a notification in a team channel. Here we have informal greeting, hi guys, and then we have a short informative message. I'm not feeling very well. I will take sick leave for today and probably tomorrow. The client is informed. This one is a message to a friend or very close coworker. Here we don't have any greeting or closing parts. I'm going downstairs to grab a cup of coffee. Do you want one? Okay. This one is a job proposal. Here we have informal greeting, hi Katerina. Then we have a proposal itself. I'm currently looking to hire a freelance or part-time HR and recruiter for our growing remote agency. Currently means now, at the moment, and in these sentences, they used present continuous. And here we have a call to action. Would you be interested in a new challenge? All right. Now it's time for practice. Go to your file and do the tasks. Thank you and bye.
Hi. People in IT have a lot of online meetings or calls. And usually, the higher your position is, the more calls you will have. How to invite someone to talk with you? You can use phrases like, let's have a short call. Let's catch up after this meeting. Let's jump on a call to discuss that issue. Let's arrange a team call to discuss the project planning. Are you available for a short call at 11 a.m.? Do you have a minute to discuss that with me? Good. Okay, let's have a look at some words and phrases that we can use together with the word meeting, online meeting. Okay, you can. Join a meeting, host a meeting, participate in a meeting. You can leave a meeting, you can jump off a meeting. And invite. You can send an invite, accept an invite, reject an invite. Cool, thank you. Repeat the phrases. Hi guys. Today, let's have a closer look at present continuous. I am doing. I am speaking. I am teaching right now. So we use present continuous to talk about something that we do at the moment. We often use it with words like now, currently, at the moment, as we speak. Okay. Also, we can use present continuous to talk about events in the future. For example, I am meeting Tom at 4. So, this will happen in the future, but it's a plan. It's an arrangement that Tom and I made. So we know this is happening. I am meeting Tom at 4. Or, for example, we are having an online interview in 30 minutes. This will happen in the future. This will happen in 30 minutes, but we can use present continuous to talk about it. Or, I am having a lunch with Kelly. I am having a lunch with Kelly in the future, but I use present continuous to talk about it. Good. Now, let's play a short game. Okay, the rules of this game. I say a sentence in present simple. Your job is to say the same sentence but in present continuous. And you can add phrases like now, at the moment. Let's see an example. I speak to students every day. I am speaking to students right now. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. I work on tasks every day. I'm working on tasks now. He checks pull requests often. He is checking pull requests now. She writes emails every Friday. Yes, she's writing emails right now. We have demos on Mondays. We are having a demo right now. He is smart. He is smart. This sentence doesn't change because now we talk about a state, not an action. So this sentence cannot be transformed in present continuous tense. For example, I am a QA. The same. I am a QA all the time. Or I am tall. We cannot say the sentence using present continuous. Very good. If you made a mistake, try again. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Hi guys! Let's talk about emails and learn what acronyms are and when to use them. Let's go! But before we start talking about emails, let's try to pronounce your email. My email is pronounced as kate@gmail.com. This sign is pronounced as @ and this dot. Great! Pause the video and try pronouncing your email. Good job. Okay, let's have a look at the structure of an email. So here we have a recipient, a person who is receiving the email. Here, subject line is a short summary what the email is about. Opening part. Hope this email finds you well. Here we have a body of our email. Body is the main part. Here we have a closing part. Thank you for your patience and understanding. We value our cooperation. And this is the sender of this email, Team Project Manager. Good. Let's have a closer look at this email. So, pause the video, read the email and decide what is the problem here. Why is Tim writing to Mr. Smith? All right, yes, Tim is writing to Mr. Smith because there were some problems with the project. The deadline was missed. So let's have a look at the phrases in the email. So we couldn't meet the deadline, our estimations were not accurate, but we are aware of the importance of fast delivery of this project. We value our cooperations sincerely. All right, let's repeat the phrases from the email. Meet the deadline. Project delivery. Best quality. Cooperation. Estimations. Good job. All right. Have a look at these two messages and decide if they are the same or different. Okay. Yes, they basically mean the same, but they have completely different style and form. Message A, subject line, answer. Sorry, I couldn't attend Skype call with you. I was taking shower. Can you call me back now? Okay, so this message contains too much personal information. It's too direct and it sounds a bit rude. You can write this message to your friend, but it's not appropriate at work. This message, subject line, apologies. Hi Kate, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to attend our video meeting. Something urgent came up. Could we please reschedule? I apologize for the inconvenience. This message is more formal, more professional. It has a good apology and it has a good suggestion to reschedule. This is more appropriate email to write to your coworker. Okay, more examples. We have a message, subject line, payment details. Hi Kate, hope you are doing well. Could you please send me the payment details for LXP? Thanks and looking forward to hearing from you. We have a nice, polite request. Could you please send? And we have a nice closing part. Thanks and looking forward to hearing from you. This is nice, appropriate example of a professional email. Okay, sometimes you want to add some file or document to your email. Always mention that in the text. You can use phrases like please find attached, please find enclosed, or I attach a file about something. Okay, good. Here we see a letter with just a subject line. Send me payment details ASAP. Please never send a message without a body with just a subject line because it sounds a bit rude. Good. So people in IT are very busy people. So sometimes they like to write very short messages and use acronyms. So let's have a look at these sentences and figure out what these acronyms mean. Okay, THX for your help with the project. That's right. Thanks for your help with the project. I will be AFK for 2 hours. I will be away from keyboard for 2 hours. This means I will be offline. Okay, this is a comment on Git and it's pronounced as LGTM. This means looks good to me. Approved, looks good. All right. Send me the details, PLZ. Send me the details, please. Sorry, I cannot talk to you right now. IAM. I am at the meeting. FYI, Tim is having a call with his lead. For your information, Tim is having a call with his lead. LMK when you finish the task. Let me know when you finish the task. Okay, good job. Time for practice. Thank you and bye. Hi guys. Today let's talk about LinkedIn. How to create a perfect LinkedIn profile, and also we're gonna learn about past simple, how to make it and when to use this tense. Let's go. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet. You can use LinkedIn to find the right job or internship, connect with other professionals and exchange messages. You can read about professional news, join groups, for example, .NET developers community, and you can write articles, post pictures and videos and links to your portfolio. So what are the 3 most important factors for a successful profile? First one, it's a professional picture. Second, it's catchy headline and informative about section. Catchy headline means easy to remember, noticeable headline. All right, let's have a look at the screen from my profile. So this is my profile picture. I look into the camera and this picture is quite okay for LinkedIn. Here is my headline. Head of people at TGA Digital, I love to bring the best talents to the great team. And here I also added a background picture. In my case, it's a logo of my company. Okay, so headline. It's important to include your job title. Here it's software developer. Next, your current company. Add Google and add some keywords or additional information. For instance, Ray is a mentor and teacher. All right. About section. It's a summary of your experience and skills. You should include your achievements there and add some personal story. Okay. Also, it is worth including your skills into your profile, some certificates and courses, and you can also ask people to endorse you, to say that you are good at this or that skill. All right, let's have a closer look at my summary on LinkedIn. To describe my past experience, I say, I started as an English teacher in IT and then I moved to the HR field and I still absolutely love both jobs. Hired and onboarded more than 60 people, organized 5 team buildings. Okay, here I used past tense to talk about my experience in the past. Okay, I started my career in 2015. She graduated 5 years ago. These sentences are in past simple. We take a subject, I or she, and add a verb with ending ed. These verbs are regular, so we just add ending ed. But sometimes we can have irregular verbs, like I forgot to send this letter, or she sent me 5 messages. For irregular verbs, you have to check the table of the irregular verbs. Okay, this is a table, and for past simple, you need to use the second column of the table. If you don't have the table, just Google, just type the word, for example, bat, and write regular or irregular or bat free forms. And Google will help you find out the free forms. Okay, let's have a look at sentences in past simple. I worked at Microsoft. I did not work at Microsoft. Did I work at Microsoft? Okay, for negative sentence and for a question, we use auxiliary did. She studied French. She did not study French. Did she study French? All right, pause this video and repeat the sentences for a couple of times. More tips for a successful LinkedIn profile. Put in the time to make it awesome. That means spend enough time working on your profile. Get a custom URL. This is your LinkedIn address without any additional symbols or numbers. You can do that in settings. Choose a great professional photo. Write a headline that rocks. Impressive, exciting, easy to remember headline. Don't waste the summary space. Include your experience, skills, make your summary informative and professional. Numbers right up front. For example, I say, I hired 50 people. A developer developed 10 iOS applications. So use numbers to prove your achievements. Avoid buzzwords. Buzzwords are words that are overused on LinkedIn. For example, passionate, creative, successful. It's okay to use them once or twice, but don't use them too often. Treat your profile like your resume, so include your skills, experience, keep it professional. but use the first person. Say, I created, I developed, I achieved. And highlight your skills, include your main skills, make them visible, and ask people to endorse you. All right? Now you can actually go and try creating your professional LinkedIn profile. Thank you and bye.
Hi, let's practice talking about your past experience. For this, we're gonna use past tense, past simple. Okay, so you can tell about your education. We're gonna use words like to study, to graduate, to complete, but we're gonna use them in the past. Examples. I studied computer science. I studied JavaScript. I studied at Oxford. I graduated 5 years ago. I graduated from Cambridge. Okay, complete. I completed this course 2 years ago. I completed a PHP course. Okay, very good. To talk about your past work experience, we're gonna use words like to lead. I led a team of 5 developers. To organize. I organized a demo meeting. To develop. I developed a personal development plan. To mentor. I mentored 3 junior QAs. To be in charge of. I was in charge of project planning. To take part in something. To participate. I took part in project discussion sessions. Okay, very good. Now repeat the phrases after me and practice using them to talk about your experience. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Hi guys, so let's focus on different types of sentences in past simple, and let's learn how to make questions in past simple. Okay, remember we used past simple to talk about some past events or states to describe our past experience, education, and so on. Okay, and a reminder, here are the 3 types of sentences. Positive sentence, I worked at Microsoft. I did not work at Microsoft. For negative sentence, we introduce did, did not, and a question starting with auxiliary did. Did I work at Microsoft? And another example, she studied French. She did not study French. And did she study French? Okay, take a look at these sentences one more time, because now we need to check your memory. Try to fill the gaps. You can say the words that should go here, and we're gonna check in a moment. Okay, so I worked at Microsoft. I didn't or I did not work at Microsoft. And did I work at Microsoft? Hope you did it well. And next one. Say the words. Okay, let's check. She studied French. She didn't study French. And did she study French? I hope you said those words. Guys, so now our job is turn a sentence in present into past. So here we have sentences in present simple. We use present simple when we say about things we do sometimes, often, all the time, from time to time. And we need to turn them into past. And we used past when we want to talk about something in the past, like yesterday, last year, a month ago, and so on. Okay, our sentence, I am a QA. How should we turn it into past simple? For example, yesterday. So we need to take am and use the past form of it. I am, I was. I was a QA 2 years ago, last year, and so on. Okay, second sentence, I write code. So write, it's irregular verb. So we need to check the table of irregular verbs to find the past simple form of write. So it should be I wrote code. Good. Next sentence. I read the requirements often from time to time. And in the past, we say, can you help me? So read. Is it regular or irregular? It's irregular. Read. But, tricky thing, it is spelled the same. So you just read it in a different way. I read the requirements yesterday, last Tuesday, a few years ago, and so on. All right, sorry, need to make it look good. Okay, here we go. We already have 3 sentences in the past. Looks nice. Okay, next one. She writes test cases. She writes test cases. And in the past, we already know that to write is irregular. She wrote test cases. As you can see, for present simple, like that. For present simple, we add as because we have she, third person. She writes, he writes. But for past simple, we don't need to add anything. So I wrote code, she wrote test cases. It is the same. And we have Zoom meetings. How to make it in past simple? So have is also irregular and it's had. In the past, we had Zoom meetings. So those are our sentences in the past. Okay, cool. Let's move on. We will practice making questions. We have this sentence. I worked at IBM in 2009. Easy, right? Sentence in the past, about some past experience. Now, you can see that I underlined some words. I worked at IBM 2009. So, our job is we have to make question for each underlined word. Okay, let's start and you will see how we do it. I worked at IBM in 2009. So let's start with this. So we have to make a question for the word I. So I is a person. So we start the question with who. Who worked at IBM in 2009? So that is our first question. Who worked at IBM in 2009? I worked at IBM in 2009. Good. Now we need to make a question for the word worked. What question can we make? We can say what, we need auxiliary, did I do at IBM in 2009? So that is our second question. what did I do at IBM in 2009? So here we introduce auxiliary did. What did I do? All right. Now we need to ask a question for IBM. So IBM is a company, so it's a place. So we can start our question with where did I work in 2009? Where did I work in 2009? I worked at IBM in 2009. So again, we see that here we have worked in the past, and here we have just work, infinitive. So if we have auxiliary did, where did, we don't need the ending ed here. Where did I work? Where did I study? Where did he learn Python? Okay, and the last word is 2009, so it's about time. So we can start the question with when did I work in 2000? Oh, sorry, when did I work? No, at IBM. Yeah. When did I work at IBM? I worked at IBM in 2009. Okay, take a look at our questions. Also, I worked at IBM in 2009. You can ask one more question. Did I work at IBM in 2009? Yes, I worked at IBM in 2009. Okay, guys, I hope that that would help you to make questions, to ask questions. And see you next time. Bye.
I used to hate reading, but now I absolutely love it. We say I used to do something to talk about our habits or states in the past. This is something that was regular for us in the past, but it changed and it's not regular for us anymore. We take the verb used to, always with ending ed, plus verb. I used to like. I used to do. I used to hate. Negative form. She didn't used to like coffee, but now she drinks it every morning. We add didn't to show that it's a negative sentence, but now we use without ending ed. She didn't use to. He didn't use to. How to make a question? We need did again. Did you used to play the guitar when you were younger? Again, we use did, and now we don't need that ending ed. Did you use? Let's talk about states. For example, when I was younger, I was too shy. So I can say, I used to be shy. Not anymore. Here, our main verb is to be. I used to be shy. How to make a negative sentence? I didn't used to be shy. And our question, did I used to be shy? Good. Time for practice. I will say a sentence. Your job is to make a negative sentence and a question. Wait a few seconds and you will see the correct answers. First, I used to work till midnight. negative sentence, and a question. Okay, I have a negative sentence. I didn't use to work till midnight. And I have a question. Did I use to work till midnight? He used to be very nervous. All right, time is up. Negative sentence. He didn't use to be very nervous. Question. Did he used to be very nervous? I hope he didn't. Good job, guys. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.
Hi there. Let's talk about SDLC. What is it? What stages or steps does it have? And let's practice using passive voice in English. Let's go. SDLC stands for Software Development Life Cycle. It's a set of steps needed to create software applications. These steps divide the development process into tasks that can be assigned, completed, and measured. Okay, so these are steps of SDLC. First is planning and requirement analysis. Then we have design, coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Let's have a closer look at each of the steps. So first, requirement analysis and planning. This is about planning the work on the project, calculating time needed, and number of people in a team. Requirement analysis is to define what the application is supposed to do and how people can use it. For example, if you develop a social media application, you would need it to be able to connect people and send messages. So these are the main requirements for the social media applications. Then we have a design stage. Business architects use the requirements to produce several designs of the product. Prototyping can be a part of this phase. A prototype is like one of the early versions of software. All right, then coding. Design documents are used to implement the design and produce the code. This stage is the longest stage of SDLC. Testing. Code is tested based on the client requirements to ensure the code works according to specifications. The testing phase helps to reduce the number of bugs and glitches that users might have. Deployment. The product is delivered to the customers, so now application can be used by users. Great. Okay, maintenance. When user experiences technical issues with the product and it requires support and fixes. That is a maintenance stage. Okay, I used these sentences. Design documents are used to implement the design and produce the code. Code is tested based on the client requirements to ensure the code works according to specifications. The product is delivered to the customer. Have a look at these sentences. Do we know who does the action? No, we don't. And in this case, we used passive voice. How to make passive voice? Let's have a look at active sentence in present simple. Team uses design documents to implement design and produce code. Okay, we know that subject here is team. Now we avoid the word team and we make a passive sentence. Design documents are used to implement the design and produce the code. So, in passive voice, we used the verb to be in the correct form, are in this case, and we used past participle. So, past participle is the verb plus ending ed for regular verbs, and for irregular verbs, you need to check the third column of the table of irregular verbs. Okay, use is regular, so we just added ed. Okay, here we have active sentence in past tense. Team delivered product to the customer. So in passive, we need to use past as well. The product was delivered to the customer. So was, it's the verb to be in the past. All right, why do we need to use passive voice? Case 1, we don't know who does or did the action. We don't know the subject. For example, painting was stolen. We don't know who stole it. Second case, the subject is not important. She was invited to the interview. We don't know or we don't care who invited her. We are interested in the fact that she was invited. And next case, we don't want to focus on who made a mistake. For example, deadline was missed. Here, the focus is on the fact the deadline was missed, but not on who missed the deadline. All right, good. Go to your file and do the tasks. If you need to refresh your memory, come back to the video. Thank you and see you. Bye.
Hi guys, requirements. You're gonna hear this word a lot when you work in IT. Requirement is what we want from our product, what we want our application to do, what we need from our website, our platform, or our video game. So let's focus on some phrases used with the word requirement. To write the requirements. The business analyst has to write clear and detailed requirements for the platform. To analyze their requirements. The team has to analyze their requirements before we start designing the project. To follow their requirements. We need to follow their requirements to create what our client needs. To ignore their requirements. We shouldn't ignore the requirements if we want to get paid for our work. To change the requirements. The client might change their requirement, so we need to wait for a couple of days. According to the requirements. According to the requirements, the filter has to be at the left side of the page. Very good. Repeat the phrases and use them to discuss your project requirements. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Hi guys, let's talk about Agile, Scrum, Kanban, and daily meetings. Why do people have to run those meetings? Agile is the methodology of software development. Its ability to be flexible and respond to change. What changes might we have during the software development? Changes can be new requirements from the client, new timelines, and priorities. Agile is divided into two main types, methodologies, Scrum and Kanban. Let's have a look what these two types have in common and what is different. So, both Scrum and Kanban are agile, flexible, they respond to change quickly. Both use pull techniques when you pull the task from the list of tasks to do. Both use boards to visualize the progress. So on the picture you can see example of a Kanban board. Both have organized teams and both focus on transparency when everyone in the team knows what is happening and what the progress on the project is. What is different? In Scrum, the roles of the team are clearly defined. In Scrum, tasks are divided into sprints. Usually, sprint lasts for 1 or 2 weeks. In Scrum, team has daily meetings to discuss the progress, and Scrum is best for teams with more stable priorities. Kanban is better when you have a lot of changes during the workflow. Kanban is more flexible and you can add tasks during the process. And daily meetings in Kanban are not necessary. Let's focus on daily meetings. They are also known as stand-up meetings, daily Scrum, or status meetings. These meetings are held every day, usually at the same time and place and same participants, and they last no more than 15 minutes. 3 main questions that people have to answer during these meetings are: what did you do yesterday? What will you do today? And are there any blockers? How to answer these questions? If you are a developer, you can say something like, yesterday I finished refactoring navigation and I started ticket DC 6789. To give your update for yesterday, you use past simple. Today, I will complete ticket DC 6789. I will send ticket for review and I'm going to fix the issue with Google Sign-in. For today, you can use future simple I will complete, I will send, or present continuous I am going to fix. If you don't have any blockers, you say I don't have any blockers. Okay, pause the video and repeat the update. What to say if you do have some blockers? You can say phrases like, I don't have experience using some technology, so I need more time to figure it out. I'm having trouble debugging something. I need an approval from someone to do something. I need help repairing some issue because it stopped working, or I'm waiting for an access to, let's say, AWS. Okay, pause the video and repeat the phrases from my screen. Good job. The goal of daily meetings, why people need to have them. To check status, to give update, what is the progress on the project, and to get everyone on the team on the same page. But daily meetings are not to solve problems. Let's have a look at this short dialogue. Tom, I don't have experience using AWS, so I need more time to figure it out. So Tom is talking about his blocker. Sarah, I can show you how to use it. You just need to... And Sarah wants to help Tom to explain how to solve his blocker. Bruce says, why don't you guys just have a call after the meeting in order to solve this problem? Bruce knows that daily meetings are not to solve issues or deal with blockers, and he suggests guys to do that after the daily meeting. That's a good way to do it. Okay, time for practice. Go to your file and do the tasks. Thank you and see you on the next lesson. Bye. Hi guys. Today let's talk about websites. What types of websites are there? And let's learn how to use words like much, many, little, and few. Okay, types of websites. So there are so many of them, but let's focus on some popular types. So there are news websites, business websites, non-profit websites, entertainment websites, and e-commerce websites. Let's have a closer look at each of these types. Okay, here you can see a news website. So people go there to read some news and find out what is happening in the world. It has features like sign-in form, search field, navigation, and if we speak about the design of this website, I would say it is simple, it is clear and user-friendly. Also, this website is easy to navigate. All right, this is an example of a business website. This is a website of a restaurant. So here we can find information about this restaurant, see some pictures, read news, check careers, and we can also add them on social media. Also, we have a Find Us button so we can find where this restaurant is located. If we speak about the design, I would say it's stylish, it's clear, and it's well designed. I really like this website. This is an example of a non-profit website. Non-profit websites are usually some charity websites or some sport organizations website. So here we can see features like logo. We see a big donate button, and this picture of a dog is called hero image. All right. This is an example of an entertainment website. People visit it to watch some movies, videos, listen to music, and have some fun. It has features like search field, sign in, notification, and if we speak about the design, I would say it's fun, it's interesting, and it looks professional. This is an example of an e-commerce website. People go there to buy and sell things. So it has features like delivery options, sign in, cart, and if we speak about the design, I would say it's informative and easy to navigate. Okay, more e-commerce examples. So this website has a cart. It's a place where you put the items you would like to buy. A wish list. This is a place where you put the items you like, but would like to buy later in the future. Store locator to find an offline store. Also, it has navigation, filters to help you choose the item more faster, and chat to communicate with some help and ask for some advice probably. Okay, some e-commerce websites also show how many items are left in stock, so how many items available. They show the rating of an item, expected delivery dates, and you can ask questions or read feedback about this item. All right, if you want to find out how many people use website, you need to check website analytics. So here we can see some data, for example, number of users, number of page views, session duration, it's how long people stayed on the website, and bounce rate, it's how many people viewed only one page of a website. Let's have a look at these sentences. This website has 20,000 users. This website has many users. My website has only 20 users. My website has few users. User is countable noun. We can count 1 user, 2 users. So we use many and few with users. more examples. The session duration on this website is 5 minutes. Users spend much time on this website. The session duration on my site is only 20 seconds. Users spend little time on my website. Time is uncountable, so to show quantity we use much time or little time. Okay, let's have a look at these sentences and decide if underlined words are countable or uncountable. Many shops have e-commerce websites. Many shops. Shops, countable. People spend much money online. We can see much. That means money is uncountable. Charity websites have few visitors. Few used with countable. Visitors is a countable noun. Older people have little knowledge about online shopping. Little. So knowledge is uncountable. Okay, have a look at these sentences one more time and think if you agree or disagree with them. All right, let's recap. We use many and few with countable nouns. Many users, few users. Little, much with uncountable. Little money, much knowledge. A lot of, some with countable and uncountable nouns. A lot of businesses, some knowledge. All right, thank you. Practice those exercises and bye.
Hi guys, happy to see you today. Let's practice talking about website, and we're gonna use phrases like there is and there are. There is. We use there is to talk about one thing. For example, there is a lot of useful information on this website. Information is uncountable, so we use there is with it. Okay, we can also say there is a career page on this website, or there isn't any career page on this website, or there is no career page on this website. Good. There are. We use there are to talk about many things. For example, there are a lot of cool features on this website. There are too many notifications on this page. There aren't any buttons on this website. There aren't any ads on this page. Very good. To talk about a location of something on a web page, we can use phrases like top right corner or bottom left corner. For example, there is a big donate button at the top right corner of this page. Or there are social media icons at the bottom left corner of this page. Good. Now you know how to describe a website. Also, if you want to talk about the look of the website, you can use phrases like clear, informative, easy to navigate, user-friendly, stylish, well-designed, intuitive, and interactive. For example, you can say, I really like using this website because it's clear, informative, and easy to navigate. Very good, guys. Please repeat the phrases, remember them, and use them to describe your favorite website. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye. Hi, guys. Let's talk about website analytics and let's practice pronouncing numbers. We can say, this website has 10,000 users per day, or this website has 50,000 users per week. This website has 20 page views per minute. The average session duration on this website is 1.35 seconds. Good. Let's practice describing the change in website analytics. We're gonna use phrases like to increase, to decrease, or to drop. Let's see some examples. The number of visitors of this website increased by 30,000. The number of page views increased by 15%, or there was a 15% increase in the number of page views. There was an increase in session duration. The bounce rate increased by 25%. The bounce rate decreased by 25%, or the bounce rate dropped by 25%. How to pronounce big numbers? This number is pronounced 100,000, 135,000, 2 million, 10 million, 25 million. This website has 2 million users. This page has 10 million views. This app has 35 million downloads. Very good. Practice pronouncing the numbers and use them to describe your website analytics. Thank you and see you next time. Hi guys. Numbers are so important when you work in IT. We use numbers to talk about the analytics, features, time, money, so many things. So now let's practice pronouncing numbers. Let's play a short game. You will see a number on my screen and I ask you to pronounce it. In a few seconds, I will say this number so you can check if you were correct. Let's go. 15, 15, 50, 50, 13, 13, 30, 30, 100, 100, 140, 140, 2,000, 2,000, 25,000, 25,000, 130,000, 130,000, 3 million, 3 million, 4 billion, 4 billion, 40%, 40%, 5.7 seconds, 5.7 seconds. Very good, guys. Try this game again if you made some mistakes and see you next time.
Hi there. It's time to talk about skills. What type of skills are there and how to describe your skills using adjectives, words like smart, reliable, independent. Let's go. Okay, skill is the knowledge and ability that helps you to do something well. I can swim. That means that swimming is my skill. So there are two major types of skills. First type, hard skills. Second type, soft skills. Let's see what is the difference between these types. Okay, hard skills. This is something you can learn from school or previous work or experience. You can easily measure hard skills. For example, you can measure your English level or your Python skill. And hard skills are more objective. It is easier to see them. Okay, soft skills are also called people skills. It is difficult to measure soft skills. For example, how can you measure someone's teamwork or level of responsibility? And soft skills are not connected to a specific job. If you are good at communication, you will be good at it at any job and position. Okay, let's have a look at this part of a CV and decide what hard and soft skill does this person have. Okay, so we can see it's a front-end developer with more than 3 years of experience in software development industry, a quick learning person who can absorb new ideas, can communicate clearly and effectively. And this person knows Angular 2, TypeScript, Webpack since March 2016. Okay, so soft skills of this person, he or she is a quick learner, open to new ideas, and good communication skill. Hard skills, Angular 2, TypeScript, Webpack, and maybe we can add front-end development. Okay, so we can use these words and phrases with the word skill. So you can develop a skill, you can learn new skill, you can work on your skill. You can improve your skill, make it better, and you can measure your skill. Okay? Pause the video and repeat the phrases. Good job. Most popular soft skills in a workplace. So it's communication, teamwork, problem solving, time management, critical thinking, decision making, stress management, adaptability, conflict management, leadership, and creativity. Pause the video and repeat those skills. Nice. I highlighted communication, teamwork, and leadership because I think these are the key skills. Okay, let's learn how to describe soft skills. So this is John. John always takes responsibility for the team. We know we can rely on him. So we can say that John is reliable because we can rely on him. He is responsible because he takes responsibility. We can say that John is a good leader and he's a good team player. All right. Let's have a look at these pictures. People are describing their soft skills. Let's read and try to guess what are the soft skills of these people. 1. One of my strongest soft skills is skill because I like to deal with difficult customers. 2. I think I am because I am always open to change. In my eyes, I am a great because I like working with others. Do you have any ideas? Okay, let's check now. One of my strongest soft skills is problem solving because I like to deal with difficult customers. I think I'm adaptable because I'm always open to change. In my eyes, I'm a great team player because I like working with others. Have you guessed? Great. Okay, how to describe your skills, what words and phrases to use. You can say I am and add an adjective. For example, I am responsible, I am independent, I am a good team player. Good is adjective. Or you can say I have experience with and add a noun. It's often used to describe your hard skills. So you can say I have experience with databases, I have experience with PHP. Or you can say I am good at and add a noun. You can say I'm good at communication, I am good at presentation, I am good at teamwork. Good job, guys! Go to your file, do all the tasks and come back to this video if you need to refresh your memory. Thank you and bye!
Hi there! Let's practice pronouncing names of popular programming languages and technologies and how to use them in a sentence. Okay, so first, HTML and CSS. I worked with HTML and CSS. I have experience using HTML and CSS. Python. I know Python. I worked with Python. I know how to use Python. PHP. I want to improve my PHP skill. I worked with PHP before. C#. I want to work with C# on my next project. I want to upgrade my C# skill. Ruby. I need to improve my Ruby skill. I want to learn Ruby. I want to use Ruby on my next project. React. I need to learn React. I worked with React on my previous project. Vue.js. We need to do this project using Vue.js. I want to learn Vue.js. Good. Okay, databases. MySQL. MySQL. Some people say MySQL, which is okay, but it's better to use MySQL. Postgres. Postgres. I have experience using MySQL and Postgres databases. Good. AWS, Amazon Web Services. I want to use Amazon Web Services for my next project. I want to learn AWS. Kubernetes. We need to use Kubernetes on this project. Very good. Okay, pause the video, repeat the sentences and practice using them to talk about your experience. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Hi, it's time to talk about feedback. How to give a constructive feedback at work and how to use modal verbs for feedback. Let's go. So what is feedback? Feedback is helpful information or criticism that is given to someone to say what can be done to improve a performance, product, or process. Key word here is to improve. All right. So at work, you can give feedback to your coworker, your manager, your HR, or to a junior employee about work or performance. And you can give feedback about a project, about performance, code, about someone's behavior, or about the general process in a company. So tip number 1 for giving a good feedback: give feedback privately, in person, face to face, especially if it's a negative feedback or criticism. All right. Tip number 2. Prepare the person for the feedback. Use phrases like, "Hi, do you have a minute to talk? Can we discuss something? Could I have a word with you?" Pause the video and repeat these sentences. Nicely done. Next tip. Start your feedback by saying thanks to the person. Use phrases like, "Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. I'm glad we could meet to discuss something. Pause the video and repeat the phrases. Okay, when giving feedback, talk about a specific event or issue, problem. It's a bad example to say something like, "You always interrupt people." Try to avoid words like always, all the time. Instead, you can say, "Yesterday, when we had a meeting, you were interrupting me a couple of times." So here you say the specific date and specific event. Use modal verbs for your feedback. Modal words like should, would, or could, but avoid using word must. It sounds rude and not professional. For instance, instead of saying the design is awful, you can say something like, the design is fine, but I would change. Would is a modal verb. I don't like the project. Bad way of giving feedback. Instead, you can say, I would be more satisfied on a project with more challenging technologies. Again, we used would. Your level of JS is very low. Wrong. Instead, say, I think you should work on your JS skill improvement. Here we used modal verb should. All right. When giving feedback, tell what impact, result this event or behavior had. For example, you say, yesterday when we had a meeting, you were interrupting me a couple of times. So you give feedback, you tell about specific event, and here is the result. And I felt frustrated and it was difficult for me to focus. Okay. When giving feedback, suggest improvements or help. You can finish your feedback by saying, let me know if you need more advice or help. I hope this feedback was useful for you. If you have questions, feel free to get in touch. Pause the video and repeat these sentences. Nicely done. Okay, but how to receive feedback? Always thank for the feedback. Say, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. I will work on that. Thanks for bringing this up. Pause the video and repeat the phrases. Good. Also, let's learn how to give advice. So, this is my friend Mike, and he received a negative feedback about his PHP level. I want to help him and I want to give him some advice. Okay, I will use phrases like I think you should and if I were you, I would. So, Mike, I think you should take a PHP course. I think you should find a mentor. I think you should write a pet project on PHP. Or I can say, if I were you, I would read a book on PHP. If I were you, I would learn from senior developers. Pause the video and repeat the phrases. Nicely done. Thank you. Find more exercises and examples of feedback in your file. See you. Bye.
Sometimes when we work in IT, we have to bring some bad news or we have to tell that we don't like something. Let's have a look at examples on how to make that in a professional and nice way. To say that you don't like something, you can use phrases like, I am not into it. You can say, I'm not into this design. I'm not into this technology. I'm not into this approach. Also, you can say, I prefer. Yes, this is nice, but I prefer this technology. I prefer this approach. I prefer this project. Next, I'm not crazy about it. To say that you don't like something, you can say, I am not crazy about this idea, this technology, this project, or this teammate. Good. Also, you can say, I am not a big fan of something. I am not a big fan of PHP, to be honest. I am not a big fan of WordPress. I am not a big fan of Kanban approach. Good. Now, let's have a look on how to bring bad news in English. You can start with, I'm afraid. I'm afraid we won't be able to meet the deadline. I'm afraid we have to increase the budget for this project. Or you can say, I'm sorry to have to tell you that. I'm sorry to have to tell you that we decided to move on with other candidates. Or I am sorry to have to tell you that you are not the best fit for this project. Also, you can say, I regret. I regret to inform you that we have decided to go on with this company. Or I regret to inform you that I have decided to leave this project. Good. Now you can use these phrases to talk about some bad news at work. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, finally it's time to talk about CV. Why do you need it? What should you include and not include in your CV? Let's go. CV or resume is the short document with the most important information about your professional experience, skills, achievements that show that you are the right person for the job you are applying for. And this is an example of a CV. Okay, why do we need a CV? What is a CV goal? To show that your skills and experience fit the job requirements and to get you an invitation to the interview. All right. What should you include in your CV? Your name, of course, contact details, summary of your skills and experience, skills, both hard and soft, your working experience, education, certificates, and some personal information about your interests and hobbies. What not to include? Your age, marital status, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or political preferences. It's not professional to include those things in your CV. Structure. Start with your name, your position, give contact information, summary or your career goal, your skills, then list your work experience, education, add some trainings or certificates that are relevant to the job, and at the end you can add some personal interests. Okay, contact information. Include your email, your phone number, your location, your links to LinkedIn, GitHub link or portfolio, but don't write your full address. It's not necessary. Professional summary. So have a look at these two examples of summaries and decide what is the role, the position of these people. Yeah, that's right. This is a QA engineer and this is a backend developer specializing in Python. Okay, so when you write a summary, write how many years of experience you have, what are your major skills, and maybe some major achievement. Skills. Okay, include both hard and soft skills as well as language knowledge. Okay, as you can see from those skills, this is a CV of a QA engineer, and here is a CV of probably project manager. Work experience. When you describe your work experience, start with your most recent job. So use reverse chronology for listing your jobs. Describe your position, give the name of your company and how long you work there. If you are still working at that company, write from the start till present or now. And use numbers to show your achievements. For example, maintained 250 Windows computers, saved 4 hours a week. Good. Also mention your educations and write about your certificates or training related to this position. Hobbies and interests. Okay, don't write something like reading, traveling, music. It's too general. Everyone does that. Instead, you can say, I was a member of a music band, or I read all the books by George Martin, or visited 10 countries in 1 year. Be specific and try to be interesting. Okay, more tips. Choose an appropriate name for the file. Copy free CV for free is not a good way to name your file. Instead, write your name and position, Kate Johnson, Project Manager. With this name, your CV will be more visible to recruiters. Okay, don't write the desired salary in your CV. If your email address sounds like hotboy@gmail.com, change it. You don't look professional with email like that. Don't write about your driving license because it's not necessary if you are applying for IT job. Remove references available upon request because it's obvious. It's not necessary to have this sentence in your CV. And if you decide to include your photo, include only professional picture, something like your LinkedIn picture. All right? Thank you, and more CV examples and practice in your file. Bye. Hi guys, it's time to talk about hiring process and learn when and how to use present perfect tense. I have sent my CV. Good. Okay, hiring process. So you have created an attractive and professional LinkedIn profile. You have written a top-notch CV. Now it's time to look for a job. Where can you find a job? You can check job sites like Indeed or Glassdoor. You can check LinkedIn, Facebook, and social medias for some job posts. If there is a company you really want to work at, you can check their website. Usually, companies post jobs in career section, or you can ask your friends, maybe they know about a suitable job for you. That is called networking. All right, so let's have a look at examples of job descriptions. So this is a description, and company describes their perfect candidate as must be pursuing a bachelor, master's or PhD degree, available for a 12-week internship, strong interpersonal and relationship management skills, and ability to adapt in a fast-paced environment. So this company is looking for a student in computer science for a 3-month internship. This person should be a team player and adaptable to different situations. Okay, this job description and company is looking for someone with 3+ years of manual testing, with experience with Postman, Jira, Git, Jenkins, someone who has strong analytical and communication skills, problem-solving skills, and good English level. So here in a job description, we can see both hard and soft skills. Companies often use phrases like, we need someone with hands-on experience with web and backend testing. Hands-on means practical, real experience. All right, so Next, job description. This company is looking for someone with more than 5 years of experience in software testing, with degree in computer science, experience with React and AWS, and someone who really interested in front-end development and who reacts positively to feedback and freely gives feedback. So we can sum up that this company needs a middle to senior front-end developer with technical education and someone who is a good feedback giver and receiver. Right. Okay, so general hiring steps. You have your CV, you find a job description that fits your requirements and skills, so you apply for a job, you send your CV to this company. If your CV looks good for the recruiter, you get an invitation to the interview. But if your CV doesn't match the required position, you get a rejection. Okay, there are usually from 1 to 5 interviews. It depends on the role and position and company, of course. So if your interviews are good, you might receive an offer from a company. An offer is a document saying that the company would like to invite you to work for them. If you decide to accept an offer, you start onboarding and working in this company. Okay, there are so many different types of interviews, but let's have a look at the most popular types. So, phone screening. It's an interview when recruiter calls you and speaks with you over the phone for 5-10 minutes, and you speak about this position, requirements, and expectations. Then you might have a culture fit interview. This is an interview with an HR or manager in a company, and the company sees if your soft and hard skills match the requirements and company culture. If you are applying for a technical position like a developer or QA, you will have a technical interview or tech call. Usually, the last interview before hiring is interview with senior management or the client. Often, when you are applying for a technical position, you will get a test task, for example, to do some task, to write some code, or to create a small application. All right? Meet my friend Mary. Hi, I'm Mary, a QA engineer with 4 years of experience. I have worked at eGlobe company since 2020, but at the moment I am looking for a new role. I want a new challenge and I would be glad to have some automation in my new place. Last week I found this job opening at the TTT company. I have sent my CV, but I still have not received any feedback. I hope they will invite me to the interview. I have also applied for 2 more jobs, so wish me good luck. Good luck, Mary. Okay, let's have a closer look at some sentences from this text. I have sent my CV. I still have not received any feedback. I have also applied for 2 more jobs. Here we used present perfect to talk about the result. So I have sent my CV. Mary has sent her CV. I still have not received any feedback. She still has not received any feedback. I have also applied for 2 more jobs. She has also applied for 2 more jobs. Okay. Also, we use present perfect to talk about our experience. For instance, I have worked at eGlobe company since 2020. Have you worked with Python? Yes, I have. So how do we make a present perfect? We take a subject, I or you or she. We add the verb have or has. And then we put the main verb into past participle. For regular verbs, it's just verb with ed, worked, but for irregular, you have to check the third column of irregular verbs table. Good. Time for practice. You will find more exercise and more examples in your file. Thank you and bye. Hi, it's time to talk about job interview. Online and offline interview. I will give you a lot of tips for interview. Okay, so two main types of interviews nowadays are online interview via platforms like Zoom or Google Meets, and offline interview, also known as in-person or on-site interview. For this type of interview, you need to actually come to company's office. All right. Roles on the interview. People asking the questions and checking the candidates are called interviewers. Candidate who is being interviewed is called interviewee. So here on the picture we can see 3 interviewers interviewing an interviewee. All right. General tips for any type of interview. Arrive on time, don't be late. Dress smartly. Do research about the company in advance and speak clearly. Don't talk bad about your former boss or company. Don't avoid eye contact. Don't reply only yes or no, and do not tell lies. All right. Tips for online interview. Choose a nice background. Your interviewers don't need to see your messy room. Eliminate background noise. That means find a quiet place for your interview. Turn on your camera. Your interviewers have to see your face and you should have an eye contact with them. Test your devices in advance. Check if everything works. Your camera, your laptop, your headphones, and work on your lighting. Choose the well-lit spot. All right. So basically, there are only 2 main types of questions during the interview. Type 1. What value can you add to my company as an employee, and can you prove it? So, interviewer wants to know why do we need to hire you? So they can ask questions like, what is your greatest achievement? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Second type of questions, why do you want this job? So interviewer wants to find out what is your motivation. So why do you actually want to work for this company? And they can ask you questions like, why do you want to leave your present job? All right. What to do if you did not understand the question? Never try to answer a question that you did not understand. And don't say words like, say again, or what? That sounds rude. Instead, ask interviewer to repeat. You can use sentences like, I'm sorry, could you please repeat that? I didn't quite catch that. Can you ask again, please? Excuse me, I'm not sure I understood entirely. Forgive me, I didn't quite understand the last question. So sorry, would you mind repeating that last question, please? Pause the video and repeat these sentences. Good job. What to say if you need more time to answer the question? You can say, that's a great question. Let me think about that. Or, let me think about that for a second. I need a moment to think about that. Pause the video and repeat the sentences. Good. At the end of an interview, an interviewer might ask you, "Do you have any questions for us?" So, bad examples of questions to ask. "Tell me more about your company," or "How much money will I get?" Do not ask these questions. Instead, you can ask, "What do you think is the most challenging aspect of this role? What are the next steps in the hiring process? What opportunities are there for professional development within your company?" These questions show that you are interested in the role and that you are enthusiastic. Pause the video and repeat these questions. Nicely done. Okay, some more secret tips for you guys. Be open during a job interview. Smile. Be professional, but don't be very serious. Remember, you and your interviewer are people, not robots. All right, that's it. Thank you. More practice in your file. Bye. Hi there. Today is our last lesson and we will be talking about company policies, benefits, time off, and career path. Let's go. All right, what is a company policy? It is a set of rules in the company that cover time off, security, benefits, schedule, promotions, and performance review, and many other things. All right, time off or PTO, personal time off. First type is vacation. Companies usually give you around 20 days of vacation per year. Sick leave. You take a sick leave if you are not feeling well. Maternity or paternity leave. You take this time off if you are expecting or you have a baby. State holiday. It's a national holidays like Thanksgiving, Independence Day, or Christmas. Sabbatical. This one is interesting. You can take it if you feel that you need a longer rest. You need to refresh, you need to do something else. So you take a sabbatical, which is like 3 to 6 months vacation. But the company keeps your place. All right. Phrases that can be used with time off. I want to request a vacation from till. Request a vacation. I will be offline because I'm taking a sick leave. Take a sick leave. He booked a vacation in May. To book a vacation. She is pregnant, so she will be going on a maternity leave pretty soon. To go on a maternity leave. Good job. Okay, security. IT companies care a lot about security. So company will ask you to create a strong password, always lock your screen, install an reliable antivirus. Do not give your machine, your laptop to other people, and before you start working on a project, you will have to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. All right. Benefits or perks. This is what makes working in IT so much fun. Companies in IT have so many benefits. For example, flexible working hours, full remote, medical insurance, education programs, gym, company parties and meetups, or even sign-on bonus. It's a bonus given to you after you decide to sign an offer and join the company. Good. Okay, schedule. It's a time when you work. Yeah, for example, you can have a 9 to 5 schedule or flexible. Also, this covers numbers and duration of breaks and sometimes overtime, if it's paid or not, if it's allowed or not. For example, he has a flexible working day, but sometimes there is overtime. All right. Promotion. To be promoted means to get a higher position and more money. Example, he was promoted to a team lead position. Performance review. It's when manager evaluates your performance, gives you feedback on your work, and sets your future goals. Usually, a good performance review is a reason for promotion. All right, onboarding and offboarding. When you start to work in a company, you have onboarding. When you join for a probation period, which is usually 1 or 3 months. When you decide to leave a company, it's called offboarding. Notice period. So if you have a 1 month notice period, that means that you have to work for 1 month after you told your managers that you are leaving. Often in IT companies, you have an exit interview. It's an interview on a day you leave or before the day you leave the company, when you tell HR about your experience in this company and give some feedback about your work in a company. Leaving your job. So let's have a look at phrases describing leaving process. If it's your initiative and your decision, you can use words like to resign, to quit. Yeah, I decided to quit or to resign. If you are old enough to go on a pension, you can retire. If it's company's decision and initiative, the words like to be fired or to be dismissed are used. So he was fired, she was dismissed. If company doesn't need your work anymore, we can use phrase to become redundant. So he became redundant, not needed by his company. All right. Career steps. So usually when you start in IT with no experience, you have a trainee position. Then you move to junior. After that, you become a middle and then senior. After senior position, you can be a team lead, manager, or even the CTO of a company. And often you can start your own IT company. All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking the course. This was the last lesson. Don't forget to do your tasks and good luck. Bye.
Hi guys, happy to see you today. Let's talk about idioms that are used at work. First, the team was so tired after the long discussion, so we decided to call it a day. To call it a day means to stop doing something because you are tired or you have done enough. More examples. Let's call it a day and continue our discussion tomorrow. Nice. Second idiom, to reinvent the wheel. Let's not reinvent the wheel and let's just Google a solution. To reinvent the wheel, to create something that already exists. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just use the existing solution to this problem. To drop the ball. The client has found 10 bugs in production. Someone has dropped the ball. To drop the ball means to make a mistake, often by not trying hard enough or by not being attentive enough. Rocket science. JavaScript is rocket science for me. I will never learn it. Rocket science means very difficult, very complicated. Okay, when someone says it's not a rocket science, that means it's not that difficult. For example, Python is not a rocket science. If you learn hard enough, you can do it. Show someone the ropes. The new guy is coming tomorrow. Can you show him the ropes? Show someone the ropes is show a person how to do a task or how to do some work. From scratch. This project has to be developed from scratch. From scratch means from the beginning, from the initial state. More examples. I have a lot of experience developing the projects from scratch. Twist one's arm. She twisted my arm, so I gave her a promotion. To twist one's arm means to persuade someone, to force someone into doing something. I didn't want to include her into this discussion, but she twisted my arm. Learn the idioms and practice using them at work. Thank you and goodbye. English tenses. This is something most of the students have often trouble with. What tense to use? How to make a correct sentence? Let's have a look at the most popular English tenses and situations when we use those tenses. Let's go. Present simple. I do. She does. We use present simple when we describe or introduce ourselves. For example, my name is Kate. I live with my family. I work as an English teacher, and so on. Also, we use present simple to talk about our daily routine. For example, I wake up at 8 in the morning. I usually drink coffee in the morning, or I have daily meeting at 10 a.m. Also, we can use present simple to talk about things that we like or things that we hate. For example, I like pizza, I like English, I like to watch movies, or I don't like this idea, I am not a big fan of this sport, and so on. We use present simple with words like every day, often, usually, sometimes, on Mondays, every weekend. Present continuous. I am doing. She is doing. We use this tense to talk about things that we are doing at this moment. For example, I am speaking, you are listening. I am teaching, you are studying. All right, so it is often used with words like now, at this moment, as we speak, right now. For example, I'm sorry I cannot talk to you right now because I am writing an important email. Also, we can use present continuous to talk about events in the future, something that we planned, some arrangements. For example, I am meeting Tom at 2. I am having a lunch with Kelly. I am planning to see this film. Future simple. I will work. She will work. We use this tense to talk about something in the future. For example, I will be able to meet you at 5. She will work on this task after she finishes her current task. So we can use it to talk about events happening in the future, often used with words like tomorrow, in a couple of hours, in the future, next month, next year. Past simple. I worked. She worked. The same. Okay, we used past simple to talk about things that happened in the past. Okay, it is often used with words like yesterday, last month, last year, 2 days ago. So we often indicate when this happened. We often use time. For example, I worked on this project last year. I worked for this company 2 years ago. I studied Python few months ago. We often use it to talk about our past experience, our past company, our past projects, and so on. So, for example, during the job interview, you may use this tense to talk about your previous company, previous project, and responsibilities. Present perfect. I have finished the task. She has finished the task. We use present perfect to talk about the result. For example, I can show you this project. I have finally completed it. Also, we can use it to talk about our experience. I have worked with this framework. I have worked with this technology, or I haven't worked with this technology before. We can ask someone if they have experience with something. For example, have you ever worked with JavaScript? We can also use it to say about how long we worked for a company or a project. For example, I have worked in this company for 2 years. I have worked in this company since 2020. So, present perfect is often used with the words already, yet, just, since, for. She has worked here since 2019. She has worked here for 2 years. She has finished the task. She hasn't finished the task yet. Now you know the most popular English tenses and you can use them to talk about your everyday life, your experience, your plans, things that you are doing right now, and your accomplishments and results. Thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for taking this course. I hope it was useful and beneficial for you. So, if you completed the course, you probably have taken the test. The test consists of 30 questions. If you scored 20 and more points, congratulations, you did well on the course. If you have scored less than 20 points, I would recommend you to refresh your memory and review some of the lessons and videos and redo some exercises. So also, I would like to give you some tips on how to continue improving your English skills. First of all, Google in English. Find information, articles, tutorials in English and have a lot of reading practice. Second, watch YouTube in English. There are so many interesting channels related to programming, technologies, and you have so many choices what to watch. And in that way, you're gonna improve your listening skills. Next, don't be afraid to make mistakes. No one is perfect, and what matters is progress, not a perfection. Next tip, set SMART goals. This type of goals are well-defined, time-specific, measurable, and achievable. For example, you can set a goal like, I want to be able to read technical documentation in English in 3 weeks. That would be an example of a SMART goal. Or, by the end of this month, I want to learn 15 English idioms. That is also a SMART goal. Next thing, reward yourself. So after achieving a goal, buy something nice for yourself. Get that pizza or buy that book you always wanted. So make something nice for yourself for reaching the goal. Also, I will be adding new videos and resources to this course, so check this out. Check new information and continue improving yourself. And also, If you have any questions or comments about this course, feel free to write me a message. I would be happy to communicate with you and address your comments. Thanks again, and I wish you all the best. Bye.